Hello, I'm Bob Savar from Pickleball Teachers Network, and I'm here with Mark Renneson, and we are at the 2019 U.S. Open Pickleball Championships in Naples, Florida. Tell me about what was it like here playing pickleball?
Well, it's always a pleasure. We've been coming down to the U.S. Open for a few years. It's starting to feel a little bit like home, spending a lot of time in Florida these days, which I feel slightly bad for my wife, who's back home in Canada dealing with the snow. But yeah, it's been great. This is a wonderful event. It's a great chance to not just compete, but to catch up with people and to meet up with people who I've maybe spoken with on the internet or through email, like yourself, and to now get to sit down and have a chat. It's a real pleasure for me.
We were talking before, you go around, you do a lot of teaching clinics. When do you get a chance to practice?
You're right. I'm quite busy with Third Shot Sports, traveling around, coaching, offering clinics throughout North America. And with Pickleball Coaching International, yeah, the hands are pretty full. So I'm lucky enough that people invite me to come out when I'm away traveling, and now built up a network of players. And so when those 5-0 guys call me up and say, "Hey, we see you're going to be in town. Do you want to come play with us?"
That's nice.
Those are the practice chances.
That's nice. So you started out. How long have you been playing pickleball?
It's easy to lose track. It's been close to 5 years now. Yeah, so we moved across the country, and as I was exploring our new small town, I discovered pickleball, and I thought that was just a thing they did in our town. And lo and behold, this is an actual sport that's been out there. So as someone who's been coaching tennis for 20 years previously, I felt like I had something to offer when it came to coaching pickleball, and I had to understand the sport itself much better than I did at the time. But I was lucky enough that I had this skill set from 2 decades of coaching that once I understood pickleball a little bit better, the coaching side was already there. So it
was an easy transition for you?
It was a pretty smooth transition.
Yeah. How do you really teach tennis players to get away from those big shots?
Well, I think does this background look different to you? We were talking about tennis players and those big swings. Look, I think 2 things at the same time. One is that people who come from strong tennis backgrounds have a huge variety of assets that are really valuable to play pickleball. And I think it's a mistake to negate those altogether. At the same time, it's important to recognize that tennis and pickleball are different sports. While they have similarities, while they're related, we might call them cousins, they're not the same thing. And so it's important that those tennis players understand the difference. I will stand directly behind that person. So they'll be here hitting the ball, and I'll stand right behind them. And they'll say, "What are you doing there?" I say, "Well, it's fine. Just don't hit me, please. Don't hit me." And of course, they're so worried about hitting the coach, they make sure that they don't take that big backswing. And so sometimes you have to force people into it or find interesting ways to get them to experience it. But to me, that's one of the joys of coaching. It's this: each person is sort of a puzzle you need to solve.
So, you're competing, you're traveling around, doing the clinics, and tell me a little about PCI.
So, Pickleball Coaching International is something that we founded in the fall of 2018. We received so many emails from people. Emails, texts, Facebook posts, Twitter posts, Instagram questions from people who were coaching pickleball but wanted some support, wanted to have some idea of what they were doing, because in many cases they were strong pickleball players, but they weren't instructors, they weren't teachers. And as someone who has been teaching for a long time, when people liked our videos, they would turn to us and say, "Hey, what can I do? How can I be a better coach? How can I help my beginners or intermediate or even advanced players?" And so Pickleball Coaching International was really born out of that desire to help people who were coaching. And whether these were coaches who were charging money and trying to make a living at it, or they were doing it part-time on the side, or even people who were just volunteering, but who wanted some structure and some support, that's where PCI came from. And so it's been 8 or 9 months as of now, and we've been very happy with the response. And we reach out to our members and ask them, what do you like? What would you like to see different? And the feedback's been really positive, especially with the insurance side of things, because there's so many coaches out there who are coaching, but of course, we live in a pretty litigious society.
Right.
And so the fact that we offer really great insurance for very little money is a real draw for people to come to PCI.
Okay. So you started out with Third Shot Sports. That's primarily the videos to teach you how to play different aspects of the game, and then I guess you took it from there to the coaching.
So Third Shot Sports really is the coaching side, right? That's our coaching business. We go out and we coach, and I travel around the country and we make the videos and we write the ebooks, and that's the coaching side of things. And Pickleball Coaching International is really the instructor education side of things. And so, of course, they're related, but they're also quite different because being a good player and being a good teacher are two different skill sets.
Yes.
So can I ask you a question?
Sure. Can I let him ask me a question?
Yeah. Pickleball Teachers Network. What's the goal there? What are you trying to do? Who are you reaching out to? What are you trying to accomplish with Pickleball Teacher Network?
Now you sound like my wife. Anyway, I went online and looked for a teacher.
Sure.
In Delray Beach, Florida, where I lived, and I couldn't find any. So I said, hey, maybe there's a business opportunity here. And I started the website. And, essentially, it's a single-minded business in the sense that we're trying to put up as many teachers as possible, where they can put all the information they want about themselves, and it has a search by name, city, state, country, etc., and you find a teacher. Now, as you know, you've had the opportunity to upload a lot of your clinics. Okay, I mean, it's a great marketing vehicle for a teacher. It's free. They can upload all their clinics. They can solicit reviews and manage their reviews and talk about their business as much as they want. So that's essentially what I've tried to do.
And so one of the things I really like about Pickleball Teacher Network, now, do you also go by PTN?
No, but thank you gave me that idea.
I mean, I was going to say, PCI. Anyway, Pickleball Teacher Network, one thing I really like about it is that it seems to serve a couple different markets, right? It serves two different problems. One is for the instructors who are looking for students, but the other is for students who are looking for instructors.
Yeah.
So the problem you tried to solve for yourself, right? I want to find a pickleball coach, someone I can work with. I can't do it. To me, that's a really appealing opportunity for players out there who are looking to find people they can work with, and as well for the instructors who are looking to grow their business, grow their brand, let people know what they're doing and why they're so great at it. So I think that's a really valuable thing for both of those groups.
I'll tell you what's really exciting, okay? All of a sudden, I'm starting to see leads come in, okay? People coming online, filling out a form and saying, I'm looking for a pickleball teacher in Delray Beach, Florida. And then I can forward those leads to the teachers who've registered.
You're like a pickleball lesson broker.
Yeah, something like that. So let me get back to you. You play in these tournaments. Probably, I'm sure you love the competition, but also to give you the opportunity to show what level you're at so you can legitimately teach 4.5 or 5.0 players. Is that accurate?
Yeah, that's part of it. So I'm a big believer that being a good player and a good coach are two distinct skill sets.
Right.
And I think people can be strong coaches even though they are intermediate or high intermediate players. But it's true that there are some people that think that that to be a really high-level coach, you need to be a high-level player. And to be able to work with high-level players, right? To be able to work with the 4.5s and the 5.0s, I think that's true.
Right.
Because if you can't hit a ball at that level of quality, if you can't hit the serve as hard as they can, if you can't hit those third shot drops as consistently, or the passes, if you can't put volleys away, then it's going to be very hard to work with an advanced player if you yourself don't have those skills, right? Unless you have to bring in a hitting partner, which is complicated.
Right.
And so you're right, I like the competition. I like coming out and competing with the guys, and when we're playing mixed doubles, competing with the women as well. And that's a real pleasure for me that I don't often get to indulge. But it's also true that I come out to test myself, to observe what's going on in the game now, how
Right.
much pickleball is changing, and I can see it from far away, but I can also see it firsthand when I play with those guys. And yeah, it's true. You know, when I come out, like today, won a couple rounds in the pro division. For those out there who are wondering whether their coach is also a good player, I've got some results that can support that.
Right. So I'm going to talk about Selkirk for a minute because
Sure.
they sponsor you. We have a good relationship with them. Did you want to say anything about them?
Yeah,
What kind
sure.
of paddle we use?
So anyone that's followed what we've done at Third Shot Sports for the last few years, or at Pickleball Coaching International, knows that we have this relationship with Selkirk Sport. We do that for a couple of reasons. One is that, as far as I'm concerned, they make the best paddles on the market.
Okay.
And second is they're a really great company to work with. And we always, I think it's fair to say, are very selective with whom we work. We want to make sure that our goals align with theirs, that our values align with theirs. And with Selkirk, that's been the case. The same as I believe it is with PTN, Pickleball Teachers Network. And so it's been a great relationship. They provide us with tons of demo paddles that we can bring out to our clinics. They provide me with paddles that I can play with. They provide logistics support when it comes to updating our ebooks, for example. They've been a great company to work with. And so for us, it's been a really strong partnership, one that we're looking to continue, and one that we believe, and I think Selkirk does as well, that has been mutually beneficial.
I've taken up a lot of your time, and I really appreciate it.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
I'm a fan of
pleasure.
the videos for sure. Like I say, I probably have about 40, 50 of them on our website, and I look forward to working with you, and I look forward to watching more videos, and I'm going to try to get a chance to watch you out on the court too.
Yeah, I look forward to it too.
Okay.
Thanks,
Again,
Bob. Take care.
Thanks again, Mark.
Take care.